and I think I publicly said the list of people, and that's the list of people that were sitting in the room. You know, I think Chuck LaBella was it. And I'm not speaking for that Chuck. You're asking a specific question about who
spoke to you.
Well, Chuck LaBella was sitting with him. Chuck LaBella is the talent, the Miss Universe talent guy that's with Trump, and he loves Donald Trump, and he went with Donald Trump to there, and he's the guy who reported back to all of us about how awesome it was and about the speakerphone call from the Putins and all the exciting stuff that happened. And why don't you interview him too? I think that'd be a pro. Oh, by the way, Chuck LaBella got very upset that I talked about it, and I got a letter from Michael Cohen, which is now preserved forever, and it sort of started this catalyst of this stuff. It was the first legal threat I got from Trump. I've gotten many, and that turned into a sort of a Keith Davidson legal threat, which we ignored.
So are you saying NBC executive Chuck LaBella told you that they had a golden showers party?
Did he tell me that Trump had a golden shower party? Why don't you talk to him? Why don't you talk to? Why don't you call him?
But I'm asking you what you saw or heard firsthand.
No. You can ask anybody anything you want. You have the.
But you're here now.
No. He was there with him, and I thought the most interesting thing was that Putin had called and was encouraging him to run for president. Not only that, was congratulating him on the Moscow Trump Tower, and saying, "Hey, you should be president, and we will support you any way we can." I thought in 2016, November of 2016, that seemed like a pretty interesting conversation to have with Donald Trump, perhaps the most interesting. I know the salaciousness of the PP tape. This is a separate conversation I had during the day. Now, the PP tape, which happened afterwards, allegedly after Keith Schiller left the room at 10 o'clock. After the hookers arrived, if you see my show, you'll see I sent a producer to interview hookers. And if you follow up, you'll see there's one madam in Moscow, one high-end madam. I talk to her, I recommend. There's two separate things. There's Putin calling, which is a big deal on a speakerphone, and anybody reaching out from Putin to say, "Hey, you should be the president." I'm not saying Trump is a genius mastermind. I'm just saying that if I were hypothetical Robert Mueller, I would say you're going to look back on that moment and go, "That's a big moment." Now the PB tape. Again, from day one, Trump said, and I also was privy, once you say you've got an apprentice outtakes thing, people start calling you and go, "Hey, have you heard about the Melania elevator tape?" I go, "No, tell me about that." "Have you heard about the Steele dossier?" "Let me send you this." So the thing about my show is, once I mentioned I had seen this, other people started saying, "Have you seen this?" And so I started keeping files of all the different things that people were looking for, and that eventually became the show. So the Steele dossier, the first thing Trump said on day one when he took office is, "That cannot be true because I'm a germaphobe."
Right.
As if they had peed on him. And to be very clear, Donald Trump has raw dogged a bunch of porn stars. That's a fact, right? He's not a germaphobe, right? Does that add up?
Well, there's nothing to say he would be in the actual video either. I mean, he might just be watching it if this happened. But
yeah, he probably is.
What makes me crazy about this? Can you just say who told you about this?
No. What I'm saying to you is, what do you want to know again?
Who told you in 2013 when you were in Moscow? Hey, guess what they did?
No, I was in Moscow in 2015.
2015. Okay. Who told you back in 2015 before he was president that he made this tape?
Hold on. I didn't say he made a tape.
The Golden Showers tape.
I didn't say he made a golden shower tape. I said, I believe there is a golden shower tape. I don't think he made it. I said everything in that hotel is filmed. Do you know how close that hotel is to the FSB headquarters? Have you ever been there?
No.
Oh my God! And you know how those rooms are literally set up with the ceiling that comes out. Do you know how in those suites how they literally the ceilings are set up?
Yeah, let's say the room is
Do you know Obama had to crawl into a thing that looked like a giant pickle for real to make a phone call? That when he goes there, the president of the United States has to crawl into this cylinder thing, scoot into it to make a phone call. That's the president of the United States. In that hotel.
So when you were in Moscow, you were told that there was a party with Trump and prostitutes around the pageant, right?
Have you read David Corn and Michael Isikoff's book?
No.
That's what you need to do. They're on my show.
Right, but
No. Stop right now. I'm just saying that's what you need to do. Do the research there.
I will do that.
Okay, do that. And you watch the episode of my show where I take Jane Mayer.
I love that episode.
Do you love Jane Mayer? Okay. Watch that. Okay. And okay.
But for people listening to this,
No. This is a red herring.
okay.
Here's what we got to do. My whole thing is getting Donald Trump to resign. Now, right now, there's a lot of people that are pretending that he's not incompetent, and I think what you're thinking, what is your thought that you want me to explain? You want me to?
Well, I'm a reporter. I can call people on the phone. If I had the name of the person who told you this.
Let me ask this: have you ever called Mark Burnett and said to him, "Why can't we see one day of the Trump outtakes, or why can't we see all the Trump outtakes?" Have you ever called him?
A lot of people have, yeah.
Okay, well, I'll tell you where they are right now. They cannot erase them. There is a salt mine in Hutchinson, Kansas, where MGM has every property. It's their vault. They cannot erase them because it is a game show. Every time the producer talks to the host of that show, they legally have to keep it.
Can you say what happened with you and Mark Burnett at the Emmys party? Because people think that is a publicity stunt.
It was not a publicity stunt by me. I didn't even know I was going to it. Brian Fogel, who at the last minute asked me to go. Brian won the Oscar this year for Icarus, a documentary. I didn't even know I was going. Viceland, the president of Viceland wrote a memo, hey, to make sure Tom doesn't go to any of the Emmy parties. We don't want him poking the bear for our other shows. We don't want to offend the TV Academy, because when you do a show like this, even the good people that aren't Trump supporters don't want you around because they're too nervous. Because I'm doing this show, it's not just a show. This is what I mean. I have a 5.5-year-old son and a 2.5-year-old daughter, and I'm 59. So the best thing I can do is what I'm doing right now and stand up to all these guys. I don't have a job after this. I don't have money. I'm putting everything online. I've had 1,000 death threats. They've been threatened to be sued. He choked me. I didn't see it coming, but he was Special Forces. He tried to block the party. I didn't say a word to it. I didn't see it coming. And he wrapped his fingers around my esophagus, trying to choke me out, squeeze and I have a paralyzed vocal cord, and I didn't see it. I almost fell backwards down the stairs. I didn't get to the top of the stairs, and it was dark. And his friends were like, "Oh my God, you're choking him!" And as they pulled us apart, it pulled me to the top of the stairs, and then I got some length on him and ripped his Jesus chain off in his shirt. I was like, "Oh my God, you fucking crazy bastard!"
You ripped a crucifix off his neck?
Yes, his Jesus gold chain and his picture. But to think he could do that these guys think, this Trump guys think they're so fucking entitled that he can stand at the top of these stairs just because he's powerful and rich and stop me because he doesn't like my show. He doesn't like that I'm not stopping and I'm staying on him and I'm calling him out. And then his wife tweets a bullshit picture of a fake bruise and says I abused her. It's bullshit.
If you can answer these two questions, I promise I will follow up on these two things. The first is, who told you that there was a party with Trump in Moscow with prostitutes? And secondly, who first provided you with or told you about the tape from The Apprentice of him saying the R word and N word and other things you say he said?
I'm not going to tell you who made the tape because that would be. I just said they've had death threats and but I will say they're still working there. Okay. They have big, huge deals.
At NBC?
Let me ask you this. Would you burn a source? I will tell you this. Before I walked into that party, where the last person I talked to was Ronan Farrow. Yeah. And the first person I talked to after he choked me with the LAPD were on the way was Ronan Farrow. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. Okay. And I got a tape. Listen to me. I got a Trump tape from Trump Tower during The Apprentice on Thursday.
Yeah.
The Thursday before he choked me, and I made it clear to him that I had it before this, and maybe that's why he was upset. And I got it.
Did that tape involve a lawyer in Beverly Hills? I remember hearing that there was a lawyer in possession of this tape, and I was actually trying to get this tape myself if it existed. Something happening with Trump in an elevator in Trump Tower.
That tape sounds familiar. I do.
You're saying you have that tape? There's kind of a legendary tape of him doing something in Trump Tower. I don't know if it's real or not. You're saying you have that tape? You're just looking at me.
You know, we do an episode about that tape too.
Wow. Okay. I have tried to get that tape.
Have you ever been in her office?
No.
I have.
Interesting.
It's weird because she doesn't seem like she's not the kind of lawyer you think you'd go to, because she's like like if you wrote a song and want to register it, intellectual property lawyer is the guy, and it didn't feel like she's very nice person, very nice person. You know, I went up there, but you figure out where it came from when you're up there, the personal connection.
Interesting. Who's the other person in the elevator with Trump? For the listeners, you're looking at me again.
Well, you know, why don't you tell me your story for a change?
I've been told that it involves him and Melania.
Yeah.
That's accurate? There's no one else in the video?
It involves him and Melania. You know, it's funny because I got choked, and so I feel for Melania.
That's an interesting transition. Are you saying there's an elevator tape of her being choked?
What do you think? What do you hear?
Hello, listener. This is Tim. I'm interjecting at this part because at this point, Tom and I had a lengthy back and forth where I tried to get him to explain what he believed was on this tape. We talked about some rumors that have floated around, but they're only rumors, and there's nothing substantiating them that I've ever seen, so I think it would be kind of weird to put them out on the podcast. But anyway, he then mentioned something about Melania, which is this.
You know, she follows Ronan Farrow, or he follows her on Twitter.
You think Melania and Ronan Farrow are in touch?
Oh, I don't know. That'd be funny, right? I don't know what these guys do. I am fans of journalists, Ronan and Jane Mayer and David Corn, and I'm fans of them. That's one good thing. There's so many great, Michael Rothfeld, the Wall Street Journal is doing great work. There's all these great people that do incredible work. That's the thing I've learned over the last 2 years.
One of the great things about the show is that you're interviewing the likes of Jane Mayer alongside the guy in the bunny suit.
That dude was real. And we didn't show this, but when he showed his arm, you know, you could tell he wasn't. You could tell his nationality or his. We had to cut that out. I just said it on the show.
I want to follow up because I want to make sure I'm understanding this. It sounds like you're saying you have a tape in hand.
I didn't say that. You said that. I have a tape. I got a Trump tape from they're shooting The Apprentice at Trump Tower. Trump appears to be pretty well mic'd up. There are lawyers. There's a lot going. There is an elevator. There's an elevator
tape that you've seen.
There is an elevator. That's gonna leave it right there, and I'm gonna leave it right there.
What people are gonna say is, prove it.
I don't care what they say. I don't care what they say at all. You know what? That's the thing. I genuinely don't care. It helps a lot. It helps. I didn't say I had the elevator tape. You said that. I think there is probably
an elevator tape. You saw it on Thursday, the Thursday before the Emmys.
I did get a tape the Thursday before the Emmys.
Proving the existence of an elevator tape would be huge, massive, major news.
I tweeted a couple pieces of it, and then somebody's like, you probably should, you know. But I gave it to a real journalist. Okay. Because, but here's the thing, too. My people on my show, I didn't even tell Viceland that this guy was coming because they'd be like, oh, my God, legally we can't. How did he get in Trump Tower, and how did he tape that, and what's going on, and is that legal? The whole time of the show, it's been me and the people over here, legal department. You can't legally, you know, they're like, did you tape a phone call with Mark Burnett and put it on the internet? Put it on to tweet it? That's illegal. That's a wiretapping. That's a federal offense. So I go, no, I faked that. That's a fake call. They're like, oh my God, you can't do it. So it's been me battling this. You can't. So if I got the PB tape today, I couldn't put it on my show. I would have to give it to David Corn. Now, David Corn, he had something called the 47% tape of Mitt Romney speaking at this thing, which really affected the election and helped. Do you know who recorded the 47% tape?
It was apparently someone who was working at the event where Mitt Romney said that.
But do you know their name? No. That's right, because David Corn protected them. And that's why,
But it came out. The tape itself is the proof that he said it.
of course, but you don't. He protected